profitable practices. Farm Solutions for People, Profit, and the Planet on Real Agriculture is brought to you by Farm Credit Canada and RBC Royal Bank.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin. Welcome to Real Agriculture. Today, I'm in Wallenstein, Ontario to talk farm sustainability with Brett Israel from 3Gen Organics. Brett and his family run an integrated organic pork production operation. They've carved out a market niche with a diverse crop rotation and intensive organic management to produce high-yielding and nutritious grains for their pigs. Let's hear and see how they do it. Here's my interview with Brett Israel. So let's kick this off with a snapshot of your operation. Tell us about the farm.
Well, Bern, it's a fun story to share, I guess. Family operation, multiple generations working together, like a lot of farms across Ontario. It's a pleasure to be able to farm with my parents and grandparents every day. 3Gen Organics was born out of the philosophy of 3 generations working together, and hopefully one day there'll be a 4th generation to be involved as well. It's pretty cool to be able to farm ground that my parents and grandparents have farmed for years, and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents as well. My grandfather, Carl, has been in the Ontario ag space for his whole career, his whole life, and he turned 81 this year. But it's pretty cool to think that at one point in time, he was the youngest generation in the operation. So it's I think, a good story of family coming together, and working towards a common vision for producing the best quality food we can for our community.
So Brett, tell us about your approach to organic farming. How does your commitment to organic production impact the sustainability of your farm?
Well, it's a great question, Bern. We wanted, as organic producers, to be able to produce at relative scale. A lot of organic farms might be smaller operations, and it's a good fit for them. We wanted to take this philosophy and do it at a larger scale. So we're running now about 1,000 acres under the Canadian organic regime and have a 180 sow farrow to finish organic swine herd part of the whole farm system. You know, we're confident that if organic agriculture is going to provide food to feed a growing world, we have to be able to have competitive yields at relative scale in order to achieve that. And so our focus is taking the best concepts from conventional production and integrating them into our organic system, utilizing cover crops, diverse rotations, integrating the livestock to be able to have a successful and scalable organic farm.
So Brett, let's dig a little bit more into your strategy. How is organic production integrated through the operation from crop production to feeding pigs?
So for our operation, we're always focused on healthy soil creates healthy grains. Ultimately, that's going to be the source of our herd health. And in time, that's environmental health and human health. But it all starts with the soil. So we're focused on having a diverse crop rotation. Of course, we're growing corn and soybeans. We also have a variety of small grains like spring barley, winter barley, spring wheat, winter wheat. And recently, we've gotten into growing forages again. So alfalfa, triticale, peas, cereal rye has been an awesome fit in our system, and a variety of cover crops that fit throughout our rotation. So we, of course, have cover crops following our small grain crops, like you see we have in the field right here. We also interseed cover crops into our standing grain corn crops, and this is all being done to be able to have as much diversity and biology through our system. You know, we don't have the capacity to utilize chemical solutions the same way that conventional farmers do. So we're always focused on using biological tools to enhance the health of our system. And over the years, we've found that a lot of the challenges that can come with organic production, like weed control, pest management, disease management, these can all be addressed by having a strict adherence to a biological approach and fostering as much diversity as possible. When we were conventional producers, we had perennial issues with aphids as a problem, vomitoxin levels in corn. We always having to spray fungicides. Managing disease in crops was kind of an ongoing issue. But we found that as we've lengthened our rotation, infused it with more diversity, really focused on having an integrated approach and a systems way of thinking, we've been able to address a lot of those issues and have seen crop yields steadily increase in addition to the quality of the crop we're harvesting.
Now, how do you measure success? You know, from a sustainability perspective, you know, what benefits are you seeing on the farm? You know, economics, you know, demand, crop production efficiency, ROI, you know, environment, community and social.
A lot of things to measure, Bern, for sure. There's a few things that we like to look at to track our progress and benchmark it against. So seeing a field like this that's been under our management for decades now, for generations, we're seeing heavier clay soils that are working a lot nicer. There's more tilth to the ground compared to some fields that we're just starting to farm. As you've seen today on our tour around, there's some pretty tough ground, pretty heavy clay in our area, and it's nice to see over time the soil life really coming to improve the health of the soil. But beyond that, being an integrated farm where we're direct marketing a lot of what we produce, whether it be our organic pork, our corn tortilla chips, our flour from our wheat crops, we're seeing the impact that it has on people that are enjoying it, putting it on their dinner plates every night. So it's really rewarding for us to be able to shake the hand and see the face of the folks that we're feeding and hear how it's providing good quality, nutritious food for their families.
Now, Brett, what do you say to farmers when you talk about your story? What can they learn about your approach to sustainability?
Well, Bern, I think everyone has to find what works for them on their farms. And so it's so important to look at what are your competitive advantages. It's been so exciting for us to see that we can eliminate a lot of off-farm inputs and still have high-yielding crops. I really believe that we're going to go into an era now with more resistance, with more challenges when it comes to pest management, weed management, fertility, all these factors bouncing around. Organic agriculture, when it's done right, I think with a scalable focus, can provide excellent opportunities for farmers to cut back on those off-farm inputs and strengthen their bottom line. Is it a perfect system? By no means. But there is a lot that we can learn from each other in this process. We're always trying to improve our production practices by looking at how can we push yields higher. And I think conventional producers can look at operations like ourselves and say, you know what, maybe this cover crop is a better approach than all this off-farm input. Maybe looking at cereal rye ahead of soybeans provides exceptional weed control with reduced herbicide uses. We have a lot to learn from each other, and we're excited what the future holds.